Hi everybody, so today we're starting Unit 6, Inverses. It's just going to be an intro lesson today and with a video, and then we'll do questions later, okay? But for the first part, let's review some composition stuff, okay? So remember when we did compositions, we are inserting functions into other functions. So right here we have f of g of x, and here we have g of f of x. So we have this function up here, f of x, 3x minus 2, and then g of x equals x over 3 plus 2 over 3. So we're going to evaluate, and we're going to do some composition. So we're going to take g of x right here. We're going to insert it into f of x, okay? So I'm going to take this entire function and plug it into x. So I'm going to have 3 times x over 3 plus 2 over 3 minus 2. And then we're going to simplify, okay? Distribute my 3, so I have 3x over 3 plus 6x over 3 minus 2. 3's cancel, and I have x plus, 2 minus 2. 2's cancel out, so we're just left with x, okay? So now we're going to take f of x and plug it into g, so the other way around. So let me just change colors. So we're going to be using f and plug it into g, okay? So I'm going to have 3x minus 2 over 3 plus 2 over 3. Okay, I'm going to divide the 3 into both of the terms in the binomial. So I have 3x over 3 minus 2 over 3 plus 2 over 3. And I'm going to see lots of things cancel. The 3 over 3 cancels, and then the 2 over 3 and the 2 over 3 cancels. And I'm just left with x. Well, hey, what do you guys notice? Take a minute, analyze this. What do you guys notice? Well, we got the same answer, right? We got x over here, we got x over here. Well, why did we get that? Well, if you look at the original functions, let me erase my drawings up here. What do you guys notice? Well, they're inverses of each other. They're the complete opposite, right? In this one, we're multiplying by 3. In this one, we're dividing by 3. Okay? This one, we're subtracting 3, and this one, we're subtracting 2, and this one, we're adding 2. Okay? So, they are inverses, okay? And so, what's an inverse? What's an inverse of a function? So, a function that's inverse can be described as the do and the undo of the functions. They undo each other. That's why we just got x in those two equations, okay? We just got x. A function takes a starting value, performs an operation on the value, and produces an output. That's what we know what functions do, right? Takes a value, performs an operation, you have an output. The inverse of that takes the output, performs some operation, and arrives back at the original starting value. I have a nice little picture that explains this, okay? But this is like the idea of an inverse. It undoes the function, okay? So, since it undoes the function, here, let me show you this picture first, sorry. So here's a great picture where it says, we have apples, we're going to input them into the function to get lemons, but I take the lemons and I input them into the inverse and I get apples again, okay? So because it undoes it? I think that's a Carrie Underwood song. The inverse and the function have flip-flopped, so the domains and range have flip-flopped, okay? So the inputs and the outputs have flip-flopped, and the x values, domain and range, okay? What do I mean by that? Here's this great picture right here, okay? So these are the inputs for the function. These are the outputs for the function. For the inverse, notice how the outputs become the inputs and the inputs become the outputs. Okay? They flip-flop. So, please note though, okay, only one-to-one functions have inverses. Only one-to-one functions have inverses. Okay? So why? Why do one-to-one functions only have inverses? Let's pause on that question real fast and let's just quickly review what are one-to-one functions because I know it's been a while, okay? So one-to-one functions. A function f is said to be one-to-one if each range value corresponds to exactly one domain value, okay? Remember it passes a horizontal line test? okay? So this function right here is 1 to 1 because every y value has one x value, okay? This parabola over here fails the horizontal line test because this this y value right here has two x values. So parabolas are not 1 to 1, okay? So then the question is, why only 1 to 1 functions, okay? So here we have a great picture. We have a domain and range of a function, okay? Well, we talked about how for the inverse function, the domain and range flip-flop, right? So let's write this out. So here's the inverse function. Oh, let's make that a little bigger, okay? Here's my domain for the inverse. That -1 means inverse. Okay, that's a notation for inverse. And we'll get into notation later, but just FYI, that means inverse. So my range becomes my inverse, or becomes my input, and my domain becomes my range. So let's map this, okay? So 3 is coming from 0, so 3 is going to map to 0. 5 is going to be mapped to -1, and 5 is going to be mapped to 1. Well, wait a second. Is this a function now? No, it's not a function. 5 has two outputs. So it can't be a function, right? So that's why it doesn't work. That's why they have to be 1 to 1, okay? This domain and range, this mapping was not 1 to 1 because the 5 had two inputs, right? The 5 had -1 and 1, which is fine for a function, okay? But not a 1 to 1 function. So when we found the inverse, we create something that's not a function, just a relation, right? That 5 now maps to 2 points on the range, not a function. So our functions have to be 1 to 1 in order to have an inverse. Okay, so let's just slow down a little for a bit and say, determine if the function is 1 to 1. If so, find the inverse. So is this 1 to 1? Well, let's look at it. Whenever I have a list of points, I like to do a mapping diagram, okay? So -1, 3, 0, 9, 1 is my inputs or my domain. You can write them in order, you don't have to. This is just kind of for my own thoughts, okay? We have 4, 5, 2, 2, 1. Okay, so -1 maps to 4, 3 maps to 5, 0 maps to 2, 9 maps to 2, and 1 maps to 1. So is it 1 to 1? Nope. Okay, so not 1 to 1. Why do I say that it's not 1 to 1? This right here. Okay, 0 maps to 2, and 9 maps to 2. Okay, so it's not 1 to 1. So that means the inverse would not be a function. So there can't be an inverse, right? So no inverse. If I could spell, that would be helpful. There you go. Okay, next question. Determine if the relation is 1 to 1. If so, find the inverse. Okay, first one. Is it 1 to 1? Well, off the bat, I'm like, hey, wait a second. 1 goes to 3 and 1 goes to 4. So before we even get to 1 to 1, is this a function? No. Not a function. So it can't be 1 to 1. It has to be a function in order to be 1 to 1, not a function. Okay? So no inverse, no 1 to 1. A is nothing. A is just a relation. Okay? And B, is this 1 to 1? No, it's not. 1 goes to 4 and 3 goes to 4. Okay, absolutely not. So that means there's no inverse. Okay, so this is just an intro of inverses. So, and like definitions of inverses, we will practice more. We'll get to more in finding inverses with equations and graphs and all that stuff in the next class. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye.